All right, we are in hour 4 of Inside the Birds live from Radio Row. It's brought to you by Brooklyn Bowl. And listen, this is going to be an exciting last final segment here on Thursday from Radio Row. We are going to have Lou Riddick with us. Now, if you remember Lou, he was part of the Eagles front office. He's now all over the place on ESPN, big-time media personality. So we're looking forward to having Lou Riddick and Ron Jaworski. I don't think I need to tell you all who Ron Jaworski is, but we are hoping to have Ron. Now, Ron's only got a few minutes, so he's going to try to pop on with us. We'll get to a game breakdown with him if we can, and then he'll be off. And I think Jason Avant is going to rejoin us, and he's going to kind of help me out as we talk to everybody who's coming in. In fact, I think we're about to get Ron Jaworski right now. There's a little bit of walk. I'm gonna do like we do in New York City with a cap. Coffee, and Ron. Coffee Jones. Now or next? This is like it's like in New York. You just throw your hands up and hail a cab. All right. Jaws will either be with us momentarily or he will do another interview first and then come back with us after that. And then, like I said, we will have Lou Riddick from ESPN joining us momentarily as well. So should be an action-packed final segment there. If you missed any of our stuff today, here's who we've had on today. And we had a really powerful and compelling conversation with Ryan Leaf. A lot of people are familiar with his story, and he didn't mind sharing it with us in hour 3 of Inside the Birds. We spoke with Greg Cosell. We spoke with Jason Avant. And speaking of, Jason Avant's going to rejoin us. Look at him doing the Fly Eagles Fly right behind us. Why don't you have a seat? Because I'm sitting here going solo, just talking to the crowd, grab a mic. So
microphone
we're gonna have
check 1 2 1 2.
It's already checked, brother. You're all good. All right. You see yourself in the shot? Wave to the people. We're fine. We're gonna have Riddick on very soon. And I thought it would be cool to have you here since you played for the Eagles at the time that he was in the front office.
What about it? He's a good dude there.
Yeah.
That's a good man there.
Yeah. Me or him?
Both you guys. But that's
I just
good.
didn't know what you were talking about. Yeah, no, Lou's great. I mean, he's everywhere.
He is. He's doing great on ESPN, doing a great job.
Yeah. Now, I'm a Penn State guy, so I have my battles with you because you're a Michigan guy. He's really my arch enemy.
We're in Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, Pitt guy.
Well, that's not even a thing anymore.
Well, I would say that, but the Pitt people think.
Oh my gosh, that's not even a thing. The only thing that you guys compete with now is for kids.
Yeah, we usually get them.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's not a. Huh? Oh, not this.
Listen, come on now. Come on now. My bad. This is a live stream. We're professionals. Did you get to know Lou?
I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's all right. You can see how quickly I want to move this conversation.
I'm sorry. Let's move it.
Did you get to know Lou at all? Well, do players ever interact like with front office guys?
Yeah, during lunchtime, you sit there and he may ask you a question or, they want to pick your brain about certain things.
Right.
Talk football from some point of view. Or ask me what I saw about this player or whatever. Yeah, so you get a chance to talk to him.
Sure.
And then his kids and wife used to come to launch a lot. So I got my chance to have birthday parties and discuss life with him. Yeah.
You know how some people have a cupboard full of one product that, like, when they open up their cupboard, whether it's pasta or something, it's like overflowing with them.
Yeah.
So when I open up one of my pantry closets, I've got so many launch water bottles, right? The green ones with the yellow cap or the white cap, stacked up from all the birthday parties that they like fall on.
Yeah, that's normal. That's normal for a person that's been to launch. Once you come to launch one time, all the friends want to go have a birthday party.
Yeah, I must have been there 15 times the past year.
Yeah, we'd love to have you.
I know you do. Tell everybody where launch is and what you do.
Launch is in Deptford, New Jersey. It's a trampoline park, but we do more than trampolines. We do laser tag. We do rock climbing. We do Ninja Warrior, slam ball. We have interactive jump. We have our full arcade and full cafe, birthday parties, corporate events. We've hosted the Eagles Christmas party. There's a bunch of things that we've done over the years, and we're right in Deptford, New Jersey. Launch Trampoline Park.
Good old Deptford, New Jersey, right there near the mall.
Yeah, Deptford Mall.
Yeah, you got to shop. You got a lot of things you got to do. You take the kids over to launch. Jason will personally watch them.
Yep.
He'll throw dodgeballs at them, smack them in the face,
with dodgeballs.
Then you go do your shopping. That's exactly. That's what we do.
all the discipline right here.
I was thinking about this the other night. A lot of times when we talk about, especially on Radio Row, where we have guys from the Andy Reid era from the Eagles, it's a little bit like the early Andy Reid era, where all they knew was success, winning the NFC East, going to the playoffs, being an NFC Championship, gets 4 straight, going to the Super Bowl. And you came to the Eagles at a time where it wasn't always like that. You were your second half Eagles Andy Reid era, and there were some great seasons there, but they weren't the way they were scripted, like 2006 with Jeff Garcia. That's not how it was. 2008, you guys went to the NFC Championship, played here in Arizona, but at one point Donovan gets benched 5-6-1, and you guys had to come back. Oh, you guys were always sort of clawing your way back from something over the last few years.
Yeah, I think we were trying so hard to please coach earlier in the season, and our legs were tired. And later on in the year, we kind of got our legs back once he took it easy on us. Like the practice became shorter, pads came off, and then that's when we would get our stride. And I think he was doing that on purpose. But at the same time, it was a different era. We didn't have the same talent either. Right. When you think about Corey Simon and Hugh Douglas and Javon Curse, Lito and Sheldon and Troy and Bobby, it was different talent levels as well. So the teams had to work through a few different challenges, and but I thought we put a good product on the field. We always were contenders.
Sure. I mean, you guys were still always kind of the team couldn't take you lightly.
Yeah.
I mean, you always had good talent. You always had Andy scheming something up. Sean McDermott had to become the defensive coordinator sort of abruptly. Jim Johnson passed away. And when we talk about that these days, and even back then, Andy felt very strongly about Sean, and he's turned out to be a very good head coach. But he knew at the time that there was a real difficulty in stepping into that specific shadow. It's not just being defensive coordinator; it's being defensive coordinator after Jim Johnson, a legend, passed away. And listen, you're just player number 81 at the time, trying to do what you can do. But could you sense the changing dynamic within the organization 2009, 2010, 11, 12, where there were just lots of moving parts, whether it's front office, whether it's coaching staff?
Yeah,
it didn't feel to have that continuity.
And that's the thing. Like when you do have like that seamless flow of coaches that have come up under Coach Reid for a long period of time, or coached alongside him a long period of time, there's some consistency there, and like the culture.
Right.
When you start bringing in the Howard Muggs and the Washburns, and you start bringing in a lot of these guys that don't necessarily fit the culture, they're good coaches,
right,
but don't necessarily fit the culture, and that's just a good thing in general. There's got a lot of good players, but they may not be a cultural fit for your team.
Sure.
And so Coach went through those growing pains. And also with players, you had a lot of players that culturally didn't fit. Right. So it kind of led to his demise on some of those decisions, because he was always a guy that built through the draft and got one or two guys that were easy to implement to an offense or a defense. But we got a large amount of guys, and we were trying to make shift, and it wasn't working.
Sure. And I guess there are certain days that stand out in the history of that, and that's sort of the free agency. Brian Dawkins doesn't come back.
Yeah,
the entire city is apoplectic about it. They almost don't know how to react. Nobody saw it coming, and it sort of happens on the same day that the team signs Stacey Andrews. Right, he was the brother of Sean Andrews.
Yes.
He had a good year before tearing his ACL with the Bengals. They bring him in. They think it's going to help sort of stabilize Sean, stabilize the line. And for whatever reason, he either never recovered from the injury, maybe he wasn't as good as they looked in Cincinnati, but that wound up being kind of a disaster, all wrapped in one, with Brian leaving on the same day and Andy having to tell the media, hey, this is Stacey Andrews Day, when all anybody wanted to talk about was what happened with Brian.
Well, that was a tough time for us. We were shocked. I was shocked. I was like, what in the world is going on? Because Brian meant so much. There's no way that Brian should have got out of Philadelphia, because he still had multiple good seasons in Denver, like really good seasons. He
made a Pro Bowl.
He almost broke Brent Selleck's back when he came back. On the sideline, I remember Selleck, dude, that was the hardest ever taken. So he still had a lot of football left, and there was no way he should have got out of Philadelphia. And sometimes ego sometimes the pride and all those things get in the way of the vision. We know that he's a Philadelphia guy, and I'm pretty sure the organization, Coach Reed, many people regret that decision.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. I guess Brent Selleck regrets it. I guess he had to feel the weight of Brian Dawkins's angst against the franchise.
Oh my gosh. It's like it was like a bomb went off on our sideline when he got hit in the back. I was like, oh my God.
Oh man.
I was like, let me avoid that collision today.
I was gonna say, knowing the position Dog plays, it was either gonna be you or Selleck. Someone comes across the middle.
I knew. See, the thing is, I knew how to get out of a hit.
You did.
And the reason I knew how, because like, even if a guy's running right at you, if you take one step back to the football or two, you still can catch the ball and get out of harm's way. Most guys just keep going right at the guy. No, I'm reducing.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm reducing.
And that's why you were able to stick around for a little bit.
Yeah, don't take too many hard ones. I got a few.
Stick around here. I want to remind everybody, Inside the Birds and Miller Lite present Bird Bowl 2023 at Brooklyn Bowl, Philadelphia, with 20 big screens, dollar wings, $20 Go Birds beer buckets, giveaways, and more. Brooklyn Bowl, Philadelphia is Fishtown's premier location to watch the Eagles soar. Make your plans for the big game now and reserve your table, VIP bowling experience, or all-you-can-eat food package while you still can. Fly, Eagles, fly your way to brooklynbowl.com for more information. Go Birds. All right. So when you got to Kansas City, as we're waiting here, we'll probably have Lou Riddick in the next 5 minutes or so. He's finishing up an interview. When you went to the Panthers, and then it didn't really work out there, and you're on the record as that. You went to Kansas City after. So you reunite with Andy, but he's not the same Andy from Philadelphia. I mean, he's the same person.
Yeah.
But what was so obvious about what he was doing differently from an offensive mind when you got there?
Well, the difference was that in Philadelphia, toward the end of Andy's career, he wasn't installing anymore. He was out of like the football play calling completely. Maybe they did something when the players weren't there, but he never installed. He was always looking in on meetings, never really in the meetings. So he was more in the general manager role and helping out with that more so than anything.
Right.
And in Kansas City, he doesn't want anything to do with the general manager. He wants to just coach. And that's what he is. He's a coach, and he's coaching X's and O's every day. He's installing every day. He's putting in the game plan. He's coaching quarterbacks. He's giving everyone advice. He's there. He's a coach. And so that's the biggest difference. Like, I saw Andy for the first time from a different light is because I didn't know that he was that great of a play caller and or that involved, because when I was here in Philadelphia, he was out of that role.
Right.
Yeah. So that's
continue to learn more things about him even on the second time around.
Yeah, the second time around. And he's more comfortable in that position as being a coach, where he doesn't have to think about players and acquisitions and all of that stuff. He just wants to coach football. And he finally, like, and this is no slight, because when I say finally, people think, oh, you're talking about somebody. You think I'm talking about McNabb or Vic or whoever else. No. Mahomes is a generational player, and he has a skill set and a talent that's different than most people that have ever played this game.
Yeah.
And he has a guy that can bring his vision out on the field better than anybody else can.
Right.
So he runs the same exact offense. The guy can get to more.
Yeah.
That's just it.
And give them credit, because it's not like Mahomes was the number 1 overall pick. It's not like B, he was considered even a top 5 can't miss prospect. He was the 3rd quarterback taken in that draft, if I'm not mistaken. The Chiefs gave up a 1st round pick. They weren't picking high. They were always in the playoffs. They moved up in the 1st round to take him. But to your point, Andy, I'm sure he did his homework, but guys like Brett Veach, who's now the general manager, the John Dorsey, who was, I believe, the GM at the time that they drafted him, and their whole scouting staff were able to find something that told them that this was going to be the quarterback for Andy.
Yeah, no, they did a great job, and it was definitely not a guaranteed thing. It's just that they believed in their scouting their scouting process, and they labeled the guy that they wanted. They traded up to get him, and the rest has been history. And Coach Reed he personally put his name out there with him and personally coaches him. So I'm pretty sure it's probably got to be one of the proudest moments of his coaching career, is sitting there and being that instrumental in his growth and development.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, we're going to talk to somebody else who knows Andy Reid about as well as anyone, and that's Lou Riddick, who's now at ESPN, and he's going to sit down with us in a second. Right now, he's kissing babies with Adam Caplan.
Yeah.
And he's eyeing up Jason Avant like, I know that guy.
Man, bring him.
Of course, launch comes up within the first 5 seconds, as we predicted that it would.
Yeah.
And so, come take a seat, Lou. There you go. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, man.
The beauty of live streaming.
Yeah, I'm good. You're doing a great job. Thank you, bro. Oh, don't worry.
This is the beauty of a live stream. Everybody's just watching us talk and get how you doing? Good to see you.
Great.
Thanks for coming on with us. Welcome to Inside the Birds.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
We were just actually having a conversation that you could relate to or talk as much about the sort of Andy Reid 1.0 in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
We were even saying there was sort of a 2.0 because obviously his run there to 4 straight championship games, a Super Bowl. And then when he gets to the team, and you know this man well, that was a different that was a team that had a lot of adversity, injuries, quarterback injuries, was always scratching.
Yeah, man.
To get, and then this Kansas City now is maybe his most masterpiece.
It's interesting because this football team here in particular, like I think.
Do me a favor, move a little closer to me.
Okay.
Just so that and wave to everybody. They're watching you.
Yeah, I think this team is probably like if they're able to win this game, this will probably be, of the 3 Super Bowls that he's been to, and if they win this game, the second one that he wins, I think this would probably be the most gratifying because of how this team has really been reconstructed this offseason. The amount of young players, the amount of rookies that they have playing key roles on the defensive side. Like all those rookies in the secondary, 5 guys playing pivotal roles. Plus, then you move down to, the defensive line, and Karlaftis is playing a pivotal role. Leo Chenal is playing a pivotal role.
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge.
Right.
These guys all along, they were still winning as these guys were still trying to learn the game at the pro level. And they're just racking off win after win after win. And on the offensive side, it wasn't a given that this year would be as efficient as it was.
Right.
They had 1 wide receiver return in the wide receiver room from last year, and that was McColl, Hard. Who really wasn't even the dude this year.
No.
Not even going to play in the Super Bowl.
So going into this year, you would think, as many people thought, well, Patrick can't be as efficient as he was the year. He can't be. It's impossible. This is one of the best years of his career.
Yeah.
Outside of the first year he started where he threw for 50 touchdowns. What made them more dangerous was you don't know who's he going to throw to. They have 10 guys that have caught over 20 balls? I mean, that's insane.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think this year, having gone through all that change, if they're able to go ahead and get to the Super Bowl, and considering how strong the AFC is, the way Joe has Cincinnati playing, the way Justin has the Chargers playing, the way Miami came along when Tua was healthy, the way Baltimore can play when Lamar is healthy, the way Tennessee can still bang on you when they have all their guys. That's a gauntlet to come through, man. That's a gauntlet. So I think this would be his most impressive to me. And then obviously what would make it the most impressive is like Philadelphia probably has the best team in the NFL. You can't really argue that 1 through 53 as far as the strength that they have and the amount of strength that they have. That offensive line that they have right now, you're seeing, look, a couple of years ago, there were people talking about maybe Jason's done, Kelsey.
Yeah.
Maybe he's seen his best day. What he's doing now, I'm going, what the hell is going on with him? How is he lifting people off the ground like this?
Healthier.
How is he knocking Nick Bosa? I mean, he just hits him upside the head. Nick Bosa's buckling like somebody hit him, with a Mike Tyson left cross. The way Lane is playing, the way Isaac is playing, the way Jordan is playing. I mean, these guys look unstoppable.
Right.
The pass rush. You have 8 guys. They just roll them through there. That was something that Andy always wanted to do in Philly. He always wanted all the pass rush.
Yeah.
So they're still, I mean, the blueprint is still there that maybe Andy constructed years ago. That team's scared. And then offensively, Jason, look, you know this better than anybody. How cool would it be to be on an offense that can beat you however they want to beat you? If you want to go ahead and sell out to take away one thing, well, that's cool. We're just going to go to over here now. We're just going to throw it all over the place.
Yeah.
You want to keep the lid on it? Well, then we're going to kill you by death by 1,000 cuts. So we're going to run the ball. And that's like the worst way to die in football. Just to have the ball run on. And they know they can do however you want. They're just going to come out there and go, tell us what you want to do. You're going to bring the safety down, you're going to leave him back. Just tell us what you want. Tell us how you want it. The X factor for them has been this during the season. When they lose the turnover battle, right? That's when they get into trouble. That's how Kansas City has to try and win this game. They have to get an extra position or two. Because if they don't, it'll be tough.
Yeah, it's turnover battle and whoever can sustain drives on 3rd down.
Right.
Yeah.
those things, the Eagles, when they lose, it's usually the turnover margin is almost 2-1 with the opposing team because they were able to run the football, keep the ball out of their hands on third downs, and they were able to turn it over a few times.
They were something like plus 15 through the first 10 or 11 weeks of the season. That were ahead of number 2 team was.
That's what Kansas City is going to want to get them to try and live a little bit in 3rd and 7 and 8+.
Yeah.
Right. If I'm Kansas City, if I'm Steve Spagnuolo, I'm saying, as good as Jalen's been, I don't want you to have the benefit of the RPO game or play action. I want it to become a drop back game for you. And I want you to beat me that way.
Yeah.
If you beat me that way, then hats off to you, dude. But if you can run the RPO game and you're always in 1st and 2nd down, you're cooked.
Right. I said this earlier in the show is that it's not many teams that the Eagles have faced that have been able to press them and come up with a game plan to contain Jalen Hurts. And I think that with the amount of years that Spagnuolo has is that he may be the guy that's going to challenge the receivers and make Jalen Hurts be pinpoint accurate. Joe Burrow is pinpoint accurate, and they lost the game, right? So they're going to say Jalen Hurts is going to have to elevate his game and be accurate most of this game in order for the Eagles to win.
You have to put it on him.
Yeah.
You have to. And you know what? I know Jeffrey Lurie said, look, Jalen don't have to prove anything to him. Well, I'll tell you what, if they make it so they can put it on him and he still delivers, ooh-wee, that next contract is going to be nice. It's already going to be good anyway. You know what I mean? So, I mean, we were talking about that today. We're talking in the 50 per year range and up.
Oh,
how about that? How about,
Sunday could be worth an extra 10 by itself.
There's no question. You know, it's already in the 40, 45 range right now.
Right
now. You think would you take less than 40, 45 for you, Jalen Hurts? You win this game? It's a good day to be Jalen Hurts.
It is.
We've come very accustomed, Lou, to seeing, and you worked in true front office with the Eagles, you were with Washington. You see that when teams feel that they are close, they'll make a power move. The Rams went and got Von Miller. The Bills then went and got Von Miller. They felt that was going to put them over the hump. Odell Beckham also. Yeah. The Eagle. I've never seen a situation where with the way the Eagles just were able to capitalize on so many things that just don't happen. CJ Gardner-Johnson's not happy. Let's go trade for him. AJ Brown's not happy. Let's go trade for him. The Giants aren't happy with James Bradbury. Let's wait for him to and it seemed like every calculated move that they made not only got them a player that could help them, but got them a player that was going to have an excellent year for them. I mean, it's a great perfect storm. I don't think I've seen anything like this with so many additions that have lifted a team like that.
Yeah, there's no doubt that they were very opportunistic. They knew kind of the profile of the player, both in terms of his physical characteristics and maybe his own makeup that they wanted, and whether or not that was going to fit with them. But see, it's good for, it's one thing for it to look good and make sense when you kind of like are sitting around having a meeting and you're watching tape and you're getting there and you're having a round table going, oh, I think this guy could do this, and this. It's another thing to actually implement it and make it work. That speaks to the guys who are already there, the culture of the guys that are already there, the guys like Fletcher, like Brandon, like Jalen, like Lane, like Jason, who then once you come in there as a new player, you're going, okay, not only do they think that my skill set could help, I'm going to buy into the way they do things, the culture that they have. I'm going to stay extra. I'm not going to be, a guy who tries to make waves. I'm not going to be telling coaches, no, I did it this way. I want to do it. No, I'm going to do it the way they want to do it. That also speaks to Nick Sirianni and his staff. It speaks to Shane. It speaks to John Gannon. I mean, all these guys have to have a hand in this. Look, you've been on teams,
we've seen teams.
You see it look good on paper, and you get them together. It's like this has no chance in hell.
No continuity. Yeah.
So
absolutely.
There's a lot of people who deserve credit for the way all this has come together. But there's no doubt it starts with them being opportunistic and identifying certain dudes and going, "You don't want him? We'll take him. You don't want it?" And I don't know if you can duplicate that every year, but they've been knocked it out of the park with every single person.
Yeah.
Every person.
And you make a good point. They will. I think the one thing the Eagles have to do, even win or lose, is sort of understand within themselves as an organization that going forward, their model is working. And the continuity you're talking about, yes, players may come and go, but whether it's coaching continuity, front office continuity, player continuity, because they all go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Will be important for them to not just be here and then not, be 4 wins again in 2 years. Because every time they seem to go up, then it kind of comes down pretty quickly.
Sure. Yeah.
They win the Super Bowl, then a couple of offensive coordinator and this wide receivers coach got to go the next year.
Look, there's no doubt. Look, sustained success is hard.
Yeah.
The NFL is a hard league. The NFL is set up for parity. The NFL is set up for teams to be able to catch up quickly, which makes what's going on in KC freaking ridiculous. What Andy's doing.
It's crazy.
Yep.
Okay. He was doing that in Philly too. During the 2000s, every year they were in it.
Right.
That guy is special. He is him and Bill are the model as far as sustained success, constantly restocking, reloading. But the thing about it though is what you were talking about, the continuity of the culture and making sure that it filters down from him down to everyone else every single year. Because every year it's different, right? There's different players.
There's different coaches.
Anytime,
coaches
right?
can disrupt it.
Like at the end for Andy and Philly, I mean, I was there.
Yeah.
So how it got disrupted.
Yeah.
When maybe he kind of got outside his own comfort zone and started doing some things that I'm sure he would say, I'd like to have that one back. Maybe have that coaching decision back, or I shouldn't have put that coach in that position or whatever. He course corrected quickly when he got to KC.
Yeah.
And now look at what it's been.
It's been
That's the challenge for Philly, for Nick and those guys, because people are going to start coming for your guys now, right?
Yeah.
Gannon's going to be a head coach at some point. Shane's going to get his opportunity at some point. Everyone, it's just going to happen. So can Sirianni and can the front office just keep it on track?
Right.
And that's so hard, man.
Like there's a bunch of teams that passed up on Linval Joseph, Sue, teams guys like this that have had long careers that we know can play. Like talk about that from upper management standpoint. Do you know those guys are there and can be quickly implemented into a system, and how do you evaluate them?
Jason, I think what's most guys, when they get to that point in their career, whether or not they're still able to wring a little bit more out of what they have left has more to do with the place that they go to than they themselves. Right? You're more motivated when you go to a place like Philly and you're looking around and you're going, damn, we're pretty good. I mean, I kind of like how these guys practice. I like how this coach takes care of us. I like how Jalen kind of moves and vibes with the team. You go to a place where maybe you're just trying to get an extra year and get some more money and stuff. Your motivation at that point in time maybe isn't the same as it is when you're going to a place where they're doing it the right way. That's just human nature. That's okay. See people, and this, and I'm not saying this as if you're not a former player who's sitting here, but people need to stop talking about players like they are just interchangeable parts and robots. These guys are affected by different surroundings and different circumstances in the way different people treat them. Look at is Geno Smith a perfect example of it? People thought Geno sucks. Yeah. Look at how he was at the Jets. Look how he was at the Jets. He sucks. He could never lead the league in completion percentage. That's impossible.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? This late in his career, he trusts Pete Carroll. He trusts Shane Waldron, the offensive coordinator out there. He likes DK. He likes Tyler Lockett. Next thing you know, it's all your circumstances and your surroundings. And that's not just a football thing, man. That's a life thing.
That's a life thing.
Yeah.
If you left and went to some other company, there's you don't know how it's going to go.
Right.
You don't know how those people are going to be and how you're going to feel. You may be a whole different version of yourself. And people be like, well, that ain't the Jason Avant I know. It's hard, man. And that's why when you're able to hit the sweet spot like you are and then sustain it, those people need to be celebrated, dude. Andy needs to be celebrated for what he's doing, because you can't do that. That's not human nature.
Right.
It's not human nature to constantly always want to achieve.
Right.
I saw a great quote, and I don't mean to take up all this time.
I'm just
say this,
it's
right?
your time,
Nick Saban says this, right? It's human nature for people to survive, not for people to want to be great and excel. That's the default for people to go, well, I'm good. I don't really need to strive to be. It's not like I'm back there. I'll probably never get up there anyway. Let me just hang right here.
No doubt.
The ones who kind of go, no, I don't want to be here. I want to be up there. That's hard to do, man. That's hard to do. And that's what I'm talking about. When you're talking about some of these veterans why are they getting mileage out of these guys? Well, a lot of that has to do with where you are and who you're around.
Yeah.
So tip your cap to the Eagles organization again for that.
But before we say goodbye, first I want a prediction from you for the game.
I can't give you one because I'm calling the game for
That's
the
right.
international.
And that's the second thing I wanted to bring up. So this is fascinating. You're calling the game with Steve Levy and Dan Orlovsky, two SBN guys like yourself, but for an international audience?
Yes, it'll be televised in Australia and New Zealand.
Oh, there you go.
It's now for 3 years. It is the funnest thing in the world. Like, we're calling the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And Australia has a big audience.
I was going to ask.
And so,
we get a lot of maybe kind of bring some eyes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. We get a lot of feedback from over there that they love it. Levy gets all into it. He uses some of the, the native Australian lexicon and stuff. I don't even try to do it, but it's a blast, man. And like when you realize that you're going, hey man, this is actually the Super Bowl we're calling. It's pretty cool.
No, that's
it's cool, man. So it'll be fun.
Lou, thanks, man.
Man,
Really
thank you.
Thank you. It's always
of course,
dude.
dude.
Of
course.
See you.
This has
Let's
been
do it
great.
again.
All right. Yep.
Lou Riddick, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thanks, man. All right.
All right. Inside the Birds live from Radio Row continues. No problem. Appreciate it again. Adam Caplan could possibly
out for 1 second.
now is Adam Caplan going to be able to join us to rip us up? Okay, all right. We're going to wind up bringing Adam back on here. Man, what a day we have had today. Lou Riddick. We've had Jason Avant. We've had Greg Cosell.
Yep.
We had Ryan Leaf, which was an incredible.
That was
incredible
I actually
interview.
started to get emotional
Yeah.
because I
felt
know
too.
I know a lot of his background, but what happens in these interviews is they seem to take it a little bit further than you knew,
Mm-hmm.
and it's pretty remarkable what Ryan's been able to do to turn around his life. And look, I give him credit for going out there. He said, "Look, the NFL and NFLPA have to do a better job with suicide awareness. It's and mental health, as you brought up with Ryan." So, but I love it. We've had a great, unbelievable 2 days. How about? And I hate to rank them. How great was Jim McMahon?
Jim McMahon was amazing.
Oh my God!
It's not only was he good, but for the way he communicated, everything he went through in his career, and then even in the last 2 years with the ankle and the leg that I believe he said was nearly amputated,
Oh my
which
goodness.
I don't think had anything to do with football,
Yeah.
but it's just the guy's body has been through a
Well,
ringer.
it's been awful. What he
But
had
to be able to sit down and talk to us about everything he's been through and why CBD is important to him, and then of course the 91 team that he was a part of with the Eagles, I come across so many people
his
who echo
memory's
his
amazing.
sentiment that felt like the potential for that team was so much greater if they didn't have the injury.
It's before Jerome Brown passed away.
Yeah.
Jerome Brown was an unbelievable number 99.
Yep.
Reggie,
Seth,
Clyde 96, who was
Eric
so
Allen.
underrated. EA 21.
Andre,
Waters. Why do I believe maybe he was there? Then I can't remember.
I have to go back. I can't remember.
But we're gonna get a guy tomorrow. Well, we're gonna try to get Al Smith.
Yeah.
It was part of the House of Pain game for the Oilers.
Mhm.
But no, it's been an unbelievable 2 days so far. We obviously have it tomorrow. What other guests did we have yesterday? I can't remember.
Yesterday, well, we had Frank Caliendo.
Oh, it was
we had
how
Clay
great was
Barber.
that? How great was Frank Caliendo?
I'm still like the Seinfeld impressions are going through my head.
And I heard Clay. I heard has been like the star of Radio
It's
Row.
been great. Ross Tucker was on with us.
Jeff Schwartz was great.
Schwartz today we had. Jeff Schwartz was really good. He can really break down a game.
And then
And I'm not just saying that because he's a GEOFF Jeff.
yes, yeah, I love that when you both because you both felt the same way. We're gonna have Kelsey's dad on tomorrow. Ed's probably gonna lead off our coverage tomorrow,
Uh-huh.
which I can't wait.
Yes.
Thomas Dimitrov
Yes.
for our Patreon subscribers. I love the comments we got.
Yeah.
They learned so much.
Let me tell everybody,
Yeah.
if you want to be a subscriber, we've been doing extra stuff here for our Patreon subscribers. It's patreon.com/inside the birds. It's well worth it to be a paid subscriber. We do as much as we can, and we'll probably wind up doing.
And here he is. 81's back.
I'm back in
And
there.
speaking of, Jason Avant is back. What was your takeaway from the Lou Riddick interview?
Man, I was like baffled. Like the guy is so astute, so smart
He is.
about the game, and I was just taking notes. I had to go and ask him like, how do I get as good as you? You know, so and you guys are
coaching direction, maybe front office.
no.
No, you don't want to.
No.
Do it. You got too much going on at launch.
I got a lot of stuff going on, and I like my time.
I bet you do.
We all do.
Yeah, I like to use it to, dance.
The salsa dancing is not.
I know,
it's
man.
Not going
I
away.
know. How did you get into that?
Wait, I don't
know the story.
I want to read this before you get
Go
into
ahead,
that.
go
Right?
ahead.
Inside the Birds presents Bird Bowl 2023 at Brooklyn Bowl, Philadelphia, with VIP bowling experiences, food and drink specials, and more. Head to brooklynbowl.com to make your big game plans now. Now that's what we call a nice little pregnant pause and then a teaser.
There
to
it
this
is.
great story here. All right.
I was at Brooklyn Bowl and I started dancing.
They win.
No, so it was I always danced growing up. And I
Not
decided
salsa dance. though.
not salsa dancing, just like hip hop dance, stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. That's a big thing in Chicago, footwork and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I grew up doing that. And one day I was just like, dude, girls and boys don't dance anymore. Like it's a different time. So I was
Right.
like, dude, where do they do that at?
Yeah.
And salsa was one of the places. And I was like, all
Yeah,
right,
it
let's do
makes
that.
you come together.
Yeah.
It's not just like
Yeah, no, it's good. It's technical. You're not, it's classy.
Right.
Yeah.
Classy. I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
And it's not easy to be good at salsa dancing. And you've been taking it for years, right?
No, it's not
Months?
easy. It's not years.
Okay,
It's not
years.
easy. It's not
No.
easy at all. No,
You got to
it
have
takes time.
rhythm. You got to have the footsteps. It takes a
Yeah,
little bit.
it's timing. It's when you do moves. It's her body movement, what she's good at.
Yeah.
You only can do as many moves as the person can follow. So
Right.
if they're new, you got to stay on their level. You can't like outclass them.
There's a lot of stepping on toes when it all starts.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
it's fun times.
it is fun time.
It's a Philly thing, though. You got the hat.
Yeah, it's. I got this the other day.
It's a good shirt.
Doing got the shirt, got the hat, all this stuff. I'm prepared, man. I'm ready for the
Right now,
game.
man.
Now, where are you going to watch the game from?
I'm going to be in the stadium, Arizona Cardinals Stadium. What's the name of the stadium?
It's
State
State
Farm.
Farm
Yeah,
Stadium.
State Farm Stadium. I'll be right next to the Angels at the
No,
top.
that-
Yeah, somewhere in there.
It's
all good.
The LA Angel? I couldn't.
It'd be really high.
there.
I'll be up there somewhere, but we'll be having a good time in my section.
All right. Make sure you bring the tissues for the nosebleeds.
Yeah, right.
700 level, man. I remember it.
Somewhere up there. I'm in the building though.
And where's our buddy Quentin Michael going to be?
Quentin has, a lot of family, and I think he
Yeah.
went the upgrader route. Me, I was more economical
There you go.
because it's just me, but he has the family, so I think he's going to be a little bit lower than I am.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Are you going to be around tomorrow?
I will be around tomorrow.
You
Yeah.
want to come rejoin us tomorrow and do a
Yeah,
little bit more?
yeah. We'll do a little bit
Do
more.
this.
I'll be here at some point.
Okay.
Love it.
Awesome.
Love it.
And tomorrow, because we weren't able to get up today, tomorrow we are going to
Ed
run
Kelsey.
an interview
And Kelsey.
with Ed Kelsey, and it's going to be it was a great one. I can't wait to share it.
I was
with
very
everybody tomorrow.
again when you're talking to someone's parents, you don't know where they're going to go, where we're going to go.
Yeah.
He was awesome.
He
We
was.
just met him for the first time. It was
Absolutely.
fantastic.
Now, also, I know we were teasing Ron Jaworski. He walked by. He tried to make it in here. The
He
man's
was
a very
rushed-
busy guy.
Yeah, but we're going to go to his party tonight.
Yeah.
And you're going as my +1.
I'm your +1.
I'll see you guys over there.
You'll be able to.
It's the best party by far.
All right.
best
We're gonna
party.
have a good time.
Every year.
Smelling like cigars. And can I get it out of my suit?
Be careful of how strong you get your cigar because this is a true story and I'm embarrassed, but I'm going to tell it. I didn't know there were different strengths of cigars. So I went in the strongest line. I'd excuse myself for an hour, go back to my hotel room.
Oh my gosh.
I was going to pass out. I was like, what did you say, man?
He was,
I was really out of it. And this was in San Francisco, I
I
think.
get high.
And then I came back. Thank God I was staying close to him. No,
I don't
Here's
know.
a cigar.
Like everybody knows that ever cigars come in.
I didn't know
They come in
either. So
different
you just say,
draws. They come in different.
That
sizes.
no one told me.
Yeah, no one's
You know what? This is a good way to end. I want to thank Lou Riddick, Jason Avant. Who else did we have on the fourth? Anybody else?
Greg Cosell, Ryan
of
Lee,
course, Ryan Lee,
Jeff Schwartz.
Jeff Schwartz, all of our great guests. And
Andrew
Andrew
Pacheco.
DeCecco,
Andrew
who's
Pacheco,
out
yeah.
doing the press conference thing now. Really appreciate everybody. And of course, Jimmy Hyden on the back end.
Josh
doing all the
Weinfeld.
production. Josh Weinfeld, our handler. We got one more day left, folks, of live stream interviews. And I promise you, we're going to keep bringing them in and having these great interviews. And
You never
getting
know
into
who we're
this
going to get because tomorrow's the last day, and we're getting after it tomorrow. We're
There
just
you
going to be
go.
grabbing people.
All right. So for Adam Caplan, Jason Avant, I'm Geoff Mosher. You've been watching Inside the Birds live from Radio Row.